Okay, so this is a dive on the USS Oriskany. It was a aircraft carrier for the U.S. Navy that operated during Vietnam. That's me with two D2 tanks on my left-hand side. Those have higher mixtures of oxygen in them to help me decompress faster, and I have two steel tanks on the back that are what I'll be breathing down at the bottom. I'm getting a hand in from the captain. Looked like he enjoyed that a little bit. Pushing in. That's a buoy. That's a down line that we're going down. That's me. Swimming along there. So that line is connected down to the wreck, so we can travel up and down that line. And going and coming back. Saw some jellyfish. Didn't expect to see that. I was a little bit worried because my face and head and everything are exposed. And I got stung a little bit from, I guess, some loose stingers, but pretty cool to see them otherwise. Just gliding through the water. You can see kind of the particulate and the bubbles in the water moving around, so there's a little bit of a current, but not too bad. Nice sunny day out. Pretty good visibility. That's our dive master. He was leading another diver around. And you can see part of the wreck right there too. That's the other diver. Also filming. And giving us a wave. This is a flight deck. It's where the aircraft take off from. And it is at 144 feet. And I came up on some lionfish. These are pretty big ones. They're an invasive species, and they've been really devastating the reef fish in Florida. So you can take those and spearfish them pretty much all year round. And even. All right, so we're going back to the back of the ship, the stern, and this is the right-hand side. So this is the starboard side. And this is a structure, I think, that fell down from the top of it. We're going down deep here, so we're at 186, 187 feet. So that's a max depth for TDI, for extended range diving on air. And this is still the side of it, but we're getting pretty deep down here. I think this is part of the arresting cable system to slow down aircraft as they land. They have a little hook on the back of them that catches a cable, or a series of cables, and it slows down their momentum. So I'm pretty sure that's what that is. But I did no research. That's the flight deck up there, and see fish swimming around. And here's a cutout bay of some kind. I'm not really sure what it is, but had fish in it, so I thought I'd peek in. And you'll see all the fittings and everything that were part of the operational ship. Getting close to the back now. That line, the lower line on the going to the left, that's actually anchor chain heading out into the sand. You can see it goes past our visual range. Right there. Another picture of me swimming along. This is a post. There are two of them, and the anchor is actually wrapped around the bottom there, and that's what secures it to the ship. And then it goes to the right and out to the sand, and then that's the other post over there. So one on each side on the stern, and this is the back of the ship. So you could go in there. I didn't. I had my reel and whatnot, but I just wanted to kind of take a peek around the back. These are amberjack or some kind of jack, and they were following me, schooling behind me, so I turned around and saw them. Alright, so we're around the back, and we're coming up on the port side, which is the left-hand side if you're facing front, and it's kind of like a causeway here. Checking out some rooms. They left a lot of stuff intact. They took out a lot of wiring and whatnot to make it safer for divers, but we're at 142 feet, 18 minutes into the dive. And then we're just kind of going along this causeway right below the flight deck. I think they cut these holes in the ship. I don't know if they were hatches or that they pulled off of it. And so I was swimming by and something caught my eye. This is like looks like a big metal pill almost, cylinder. Had a nameplate on it. So I was cleaning it off, you know, because clearly it's something man-made. And it's capped on both ends and sealed. And it read Robert J. Pratt, AOC, 1945 to 2012. He died recently. He's back aboard, is the quote. So I think this is, I think this contains his ashes, and it would have gotten crushed if they had put them in on land, which they would have. And there was air in there. That air would have gotten crushed as it went down to this depth. So that's why it would be crushed like that. And it's sitting at 143 feet. So I think some of his buddies must have deposited him here back on board. He served during Vietnam. He was on board from 1966 to 68, and served in South Vietnam. More of the flight deck. We're heading toward the front now. You can see some like black little kind of puffy looking things sporadically around. Those are sea urchin. They cover a lot of wrecks, east and west coast. And then you can see all the fish life, which is a great example of why it's so good to have, you know, these artificial reefs. This is, I think they call them the tower, the center. It's the center of the ship where the observation decks and everything are. So that's looking up at the very top of it. And you can just see all the fish that get attracted to artificial reefs like this. It's a big draw for them. And this ship will last, 50 years probably underwater, and provide that sanctuary for fish to grow and thrive. All right, so I'm swimming upside down here and looking straight up through the island at the top. So I'm basically at the flight deck looking up, which is uncomfortable and hard to do. And there's me swimming upside down to prove it. I'm not sure what this was, some kind of platform. I don't know if there was a gun on here or a radar or what, but it's facing toward the stern, toward the back of the ship. And whatever was on it, they removed before they sunk it. You see some power distribution. See a lot of corrosion. It's been here since 2006, so it's almost 10 years now. That bright chain-looking thing in the top part right there is our anchor chain. We're tied into that for our dive boat, so that's what I came down on, and I'll go back up on. And this is approaching the very top of the ship. Someone hung a flag, American flag, so I went over and was looking kind of droopy. So I unfurled it, took a picture. This is a barracuda. There are a bunch of these around this wreck, and they just like to hang out and look menacing. Not a friendly fish. And also attracted to shiny things, which I'm covered in. This is the very top of the ship. And you can see it's all bent there. I think that's where that structure that fell down on the side, that lattice work that we saw in the beginning of the video, came from. And you can see bubbles from divers down there. There's a diver coming out from under something. There's another boat of divers on the wreck, and this is a guy from that boat with a spear gun. He's got a blue water gun. He's gonna get some tuna or something. I didn't see anyone go back up with any fish, so they were not successful that day. Another barracuda. That's a bucket, just kind of gives us a 20-foot mark so we can do some decompression. And I'm tied off with this rope right here, kind of heading toward the camera. That way I don't have to hold it with my hands. Just kind of makes it easier to do deco if you're going to do long deco. Another barracuda. So I had, oh yeah, this guy sneakily getting close to me. And I don't have anything to get him away with, so you can see his teeth, and he's eyeballing me pretty good. So I just kind of swung the camera at him to try and scare him off, because they will bite you. And I didn't feel like sticking my fingers toward him. So I'm doing, I think I had 85 minutes of deco to do on my 50-minute bottom time dive. And so by the time I'm getting done with my last deco stop, the divers from our boat are jumping in for their second dive. So I'm just hoping that they don't hit me and don't get tangled up. And that's it.